Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Strength Club. And joining me today again, welcome back to Adam Martin from Atlanta, starting Strength. Adam, good to see you, man. It feels like a while since we've done one of these.
Good to see you, Byron. It has been a while. I thought maybe everyone had just perfected their technique and no one needed us.
Just didn't need us anymore. Just stopped
No.
reaching out to us. Nice. It's
Yeah,
good to be
if it
back.
out,
Yeah, it's good to be back. We got a few things lined up. So, for those of you that are just joining us for the first time on this podcast, we're going to go through a series of form checks, look at different lifters that have submitted form checks via the Starting Strength app, which is a useful tool to start guiding you into the method. And what we're going to do today is a bit of a deeper look and give you some of the coaches' perspectives. My name is Byron. I'm based here in the United Kingdom. I'm a Starting Strength coach here. And Adam, as you can see, over in the US, also in a gym looking after Atlanta over there. And we're going to start looking at some videos together. So first of all, the one you've got on screen at the minute is Blake. Blake has contacted us. He is 3 months into his NLP, that stands for novice linear progression, and he's just heading up to it says a personal best at 275. And we're going to have a look at his squat video just now. So let's get Blake moving and have a look at what's happening here.
yeah. So Byron, I know the same things are jumping out at you that jumping out at me. First, let's talk
Hmm.
about what the young man's doing well. It looks like he's got the bar into a good, solid position. I like his elbow position. I like his hand placement.
Hmm.
Um, but unfortunately, what we have here, the squats are considerably high. I don't think I ever saw one of those repetitions reach depth. Did you?
No, no. So to give him credit, there is consistency there, and what we need to do is talk Blake on target, just get him down lower. So I think he's got the range of motion to do it. He's just got used to cutting them off a little bit too soon. This is kind of a classic thing when if someone hasn't done much filming of their lifts, so they practice a lot of reps one way, feels good, feels like they're doing it right. You start looking at the tape the first time, and that's when you see it's coming in a little bit too high. It's very fixable, and usually with a good verbal command. And in the gym, we just catch this in the warm up. He's probably even doing this in the warm ups, I would suspect.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Byron. I suspect what's happened here is, he's not had any, at least it's my take, probably that he just hasn't had any coaching. And honestly, he's probably somewhat confused as to what depth is.
Hmm.
Now, one thing I don't always recommend that a lifter take weight off the bar to fix a problem. But if I were this young man, I would pull a little weight off that bar. I would fix that depth issue and work my way right on back through that weight at depth. Interestingly enough, Byron, once he figures out this squat depth, he's going to really be able to take advantage of vasoelasticity and the stretch reflex. So he's probably going to find that his squat actually gets a little better, a little smoother.
Yeah,
Would be my
yeah.
guess as he reaches depth.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and and I think with his build and the weight he's up to now, getting to 275, this is a great time to get a belt on and just really feel that tight bracing as well. Because when you've got he's quite lightly built, this guy, and so you really feel that when you get to close to 300, you start to feel that in your skeleton. You get a belt on, everything feels so much better. You feel like you can commit to that depth and just get down and drive it properly. And those are the things I would put, get a belt on him, make sure he's valsalvering correctly and focus on the depth. And I agree with you, take a bit of weight off the bar to just guarantee that. I don't think it has to be a lot of weight, but I'd want to make damn sure that he was hitting and practicing depth in his warm-ups because my gut feeling is he's probably cutting it off a little bit too soon, even there. And he just needs to dial it in from the word go, empty bar, you know? So, Blake, crease of hip below the top of your knee when we're viewed side on. So, Adam, can you see my cursor on screen? I don't know if that
Yeah,
appears on
man.
your. You can see the cursor. So this area here that I'm pointing to with the cursor, we want to drop that down lower. Here's the sort of top of knee section down this end. We want to, and it's a good side angle if you want to see depth. Get that down a few inches lower just to guarantee that depth of squat. Um, I think when that comes along as well, I think the secondary that will come with it is just that chest angle, possibly leaning over a fraction more, a little more pointed down at the ground. I think is going to come along with that.
Yeah. So lastly, Blake, I want to explain our rationale very quickly. When we start thinking about full depth squats, Blake, actually that is a better position for the knee because your hamstring or quadricep are both doing about the same amount of work in that position. And additionally, it satisfies one of our criteria at starting strength, right? Most muscle mass through the longest effective range of motion.
Mm.
So we consider that longest effective, there's the big word that people a lot of times skip over, effective range of motion is that hip crease dropping below the top of the knee. Once that starts happening, my man, you're going to open a whole new door, and pretty soon you're going to be shooting Byron and I videos of 405 for 5, right, Byron?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's virtually guaranteed. Yeah, the process is there. So, all right, Blake. Well, okay. Thank you for sending the video in. Like, we really hope that helps you out. Keep us posted on how it goes. We'll go to the next one now. This is Josiah, who is giving us a squat form check here. Third set, it's at 225. I don't have any other notes. I'm going to leave the sound up a little bit on this one, Adam, just in case we need to hear anything there. But let's have a look at Josiah's lift.
Yeah. So I want you to watch his toes, Byron. Tell me what do you see in there? Watch his
Well, so,
toes. Watch his feet.
yeah, I do see it. I do see it. There's definitely something going on there with his balance going toes forward. So we've got some movement things to work on. The reason I put the sound up because we've also got some setup things as well. And to me, I want to make him feel like he's got the squat under control before he starts the descent to get into the right position that we want to adjust as well. We don't really want those heels lifting up. That's a balance issue. We got to have that. I put the sound up because I noticed that with Josiah, he didn't. I'm not seeing the breathing and the bracing I want to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
me either. I agree.
and if you're not breathing and bracing properly, you're gonna feel like you're reacting to the bar rather than controlling it. You'll hesitate to lean over. You'll hesitate to reach your hips back. And overall, he's like, Jose, you're looking a bit kind of just loose to me. I really see it. Do you notice in his lower back, Adam, he's quite that lumbar, he's quite rounded down there. I put the sound up because not for what we would hear, but for what we did not hear. And I didn't hear that strong breathing, that sort of evidence of really tightening up. I didn't feel it was there. It was quite light and loose to me. And now, as I
So
said, he's kind of bouncing in and bouncing out. And I think we need to tighten this thing up.
yeah. So just listen to me, son. So the first thing that you have to do, Josiah, is before you unrack, you take a big Valsalva and you unrack that bar with a big, deeply held breath, right? Driving your shoulders through the bar. You're going to stand briefly in that position. Go back to that again, right where I was, where he unracks the bar. See how he unracks the bar and immediately starts moving back.
Yep.
Josiah, what I would like is an unrack and a slight pause,
Yeah.
and then
He's trying to get his form.
then a big purposeful step back and get your feet set. No screwing around here, man. As this gets heavy, that can be consequential to you. That's how a mishap happens. So one big Valsalva for the unrack, step back, and now another big Valsalva before you begin the squat.
Mhm.
If you'll put those couple of things together, like Byron said, it's going to offer you a big yield right out of the gate. You agree, Byron?
Absolutely, yeah. And this, and we've spoken about this before, Adam. With the squat, you have got to get that unrack tight and almost like you're exaggerating how much weight's on the bar. because if you bring that into it, you're going to go to that start position in a very sort of confident posture, and you're going to be able to
Right.
control the weight. The issue with the squat is when it gets out of control, it's going to feel like it's moving you down, and you're just trying to survive it rather than you are accurately controlling the weight. And that's all about breathing and bracing and being quite strict with the discipline from moving from the rack position to the start position and then commencing that first rep. Okay. So just note down everything Adam said, even if you got to play the tape back to just get that. That's really important. You get your breath in, that Valsalva technique, which you can get that out of the book or the videos. Make sure your back is set. You're setting yourself, you're trying to get in a bit too quick. You're going in a bit loose as a result of it. And that's why when you look at your video and you sort of see that kind of that rounding from your lower back to here, that's what we're trying to fix there. We get you tight straight away. We've got that. And now with that, that's when we can start to work on the movement. We get the setup right. Now we can bring in the movement. And that's what Adam was originally commenting on. Let's look at the feet now, because any coach is going to look straight away at the shoes and see that movement. Adam, do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. So son, what you're gonna hear us talk so much about is midfoot. Remember, balance will be a prerequisite of every movement you do. If you are not in balance, you will not do the movement well. I don't care what that is, whether it be the press, the squat, the deadlift, whatever it is, you have to be in balance first. So, Josiah, you might imagine that when you are on your toes, you cannot be in balance. When you are on your heels, you cannot be in balance. You are, in fact, in balance over the middle of your foot. Right, Byron?
Yes, yes. Yeah, this is non-negotiable. And there's a really easy way of dealing with this when you're anyone who's watching this can just do this. If that person just stands up and you just take your squat stance and you can just put your hands like by your hips, take the squat stance that you use and deliberately rock into your toes and feel your heels coming up. Once you've done that, rock back the other way, rock your weight back into your heels and you'll feel the toes coming up. That one feels even worse, by the way. From there, settle into that balance point where the heel is down, the toe end of the shoe is down. Now you're planted on midfoot. That sensation is what you want to keep all the way down and all the way up. Yeah. And sometimes people can actually feel that forward drift occurring as they come down. So that's what we
Yeah.
want to work with. Go on.
Yep. I was just going to say, last thing, Josiah, here's the good news is you're about 5 minutes from having a really good squat, right? Right,
Yeah.
Byron? I mean,
Yeah.
5 minutes, we would clean him up
Yeah.
and you're well on your way, son. You're a big young man. I'm sure you'd be quite strong. It's just a matter of cleaning up some relatively minor things. Okay.
Exactly. And the thing is, in about a week to 2 weeks of doing the housekeeping points that Adam and I have given you, like the breathing, the bracing, setting your back, that will be so automated you won't even think about it anymore. That will just be how you unrack the bar, get to start position, and get ready to squat down. Okay. Then you'll really just be working on the quality of the movement. That'll be the only thing left in your mind. So there's good news there, Josiah. You're doing a good job, man. I hope these pointers help. Adam, I think we'll move on to the next video. So here we have Vincent. And Vincent hasn't given us any notes. He's just sent the squat video in. So let's have a look at him do his thing.
Hmm. 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 I
Uh,
see. Okay.
so
Hmm.
let me say something straight away. Okay.
We're not
Let me
we are not laughing at you, Vincent. Generally, we are. Byron and I are thinking the exact same thing. So go ahead, Byron.
So, what I was going to say was this, Adam. There's so many cases where you have a look at a video and you think, you know what? In a couple of points, I can probably talk this person on target remotely. But every now and then you see a video and you think, you know what? I'd love to get this person into a gym and just get
Oh,
them in front of me. Now,
Vin-
Vincent.
so Vincent, what I would do with you, Vincent, is I would put one hand on your hip and the other on your upper back, and I would go. right, man? You know what I'm talking about,
I know what you're
right?
talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Absolutely.
Chest
Yeah.
down. Okay, but let me start on this one. Vincent, I'm excited. I'm excited because we're going to open up a whole new world for you, man. So
Mhm.
you are squatting, your chest is facing the wall, Vincent. Your eyes are on the wall.
Mhm.
We want your chest, your nipples facing the floor, my friend. So you got to get your chest down. You got to
Mhm.
get, I'm not even going to talk about your ass right now, right? And where it's at. I'm going to talk about your chest, Vincent. We
Mhm.
got to get that chest down. That's going to fix some things. Here's some good news, Vincent. I see some good things shaping up here already. You're doing a pretty good job reaching back into your hips, out of the knees. But if we could get that chest down, get you a little deeper, man, pretty quickly. And again, Vincent's another guy. These drive me crazy, Byron, because in 5 or 10 minutes, I could have Vincent doing as pretty a squat as you see. I mean, I'm telling you, I could.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the lots of things are there. He's not a million miles from depth. We just got to tidy up a couple things.
Yeah,
One thing I'm curious about is I feel like he's from what I'm seeing here. This is not like a low sock. He's wearing no socks and no shoes. I don't
no
think.
shoes.
But I see a lifting shoe right here, and that's why I'm so curious. Is he's got lifting shoes, but so I don't quite understand.
Why are they not on his feet?
I know. They appear to be ornamental at the moment. And the first thing I probably would do is, Vincent, I'd get you in your lifting shoes. And with your setup, this looks very much like a home gym. I think we're on a carpet here. I can see an office chair there. So probably the first thing I would do, Adam, with him is get him in the lifting shoes. And then this rack is quite close to the wall. So we didn't see it, but imagine Vincent's bar is on the hooks. Do you see how close his nose is to the wall? Do you see when he
Yeah,
gets under there,
yeah.
his face is going to be half an inch from the wall, and that's a really really uncomfortable way to unrack a bar. So Vincent, what I'd have you do is your rack. I don't think you've bolted it down, so slide your rack back away from the wall by about another foot or so. So then when you get under the bar, you don't feel like you're so up against the wall and you feel like you can get there because one of the things about getting, what Adam was talking about, getting your eye position right so we can get you in the right trajectory is if your head is really against the wall, you're going to end up with your nose pointing at the wall and not your head forwards because if you tilt your head forwards, you're going to hit your head against the wall when you unrack. So we bring the rack back. Now you've got more space to get under the bar. As you get under the bar, you can point your nose at the correct sort of downward angle. And then when you walk out, your head is already more where it needs to be. Your vision is already more down in this position here. And that's going to help you a lot. If your head's at the right trajectory, the rest of the body is going to be able to follow along a little bit more easily for you. Because right now he's really kind of pulling that neck up. You see it, Adam? He's really kind of pulling it
Oh, yeah.
up. So if we can just fix that head angle first of all, I think that will help with that rack repositioning, Vincent, and that will help you a little bit there as well. So get that fixed. Get your shoes on, and let's get him down a little bit low. Do you think we can't really see Adam? What do you think about his stance? Do you think we've got is it okay or any hunches there?
My hunch is it's probably a little bit too close.
Yeah, I
If
had that as well. I'm glad you said it. I was thinking it.
Mhm. If I were guessing, I would say that's the case, Byron.
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking at the shadows. I think it's a little too close. And if the feet get too tight in here, it can kind of compact things too much and we get a bit stuck. So, Vincent, you might want to experiment with just giving yourself a little more width so that when you squat down, you can quite smoothly get down to depth. That we were just talking about that depth one or two videos ago, so you know what that should look like now. But yeah, try those pointers out. Thank you for sending the video in. And yeah, the home gym, I do like that option. So it can be made to work. And many other
Vincent.
pointers for Vincent.
Yep. No, I think we covered it right there. Look down,
Yeah.
get your chest down,
Hmm.
get those shoes on your feet, and send us another video, Vincent, doing these few things. Byron and I would love to look at it again because even if it's not perfect, do those three things that we talked about. Look
Yeah.
down, chest down, shoes on, and
Excellent.
send us another video, and we'll look at it. Right, Byron?
Good times. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to Frederick. So we have a deadlift video here.
Uh huh.
And I'm gonna I'm gonna start the bidding here on this one. I'm gonna hit play. Let's have a look. Here we go.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. I think maybe Frederick's read the book.
Hmm. I think there's lots of good things in there. There's some little housekeeping things I wouldn't mind tidying up.
Right. I agree. I think there's a few things, but generally
Yeah.
he's on the right trajectory here, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so, and I think from a starting strength coach's point of view, one of the main things we look for is ultimately before the bar comes up, is the lifter broadly in the right position, like mechanically, are things looking kind of what we'd want to see? And I would say for the most part with Frederick, yes, like his hips haven't dropped down crazy low. His shoulders not way behind the bar or way forwards. He's looking like he's got some extension there. So there's a lot of the things are kind of ticked off. Um, but there's a few things that I know I've picked up that I think we can just tidy up with him. So, so Frederick, here's some pointers for you. So first of all, when you're first, let's start with the video itself. When you're checking the video, one of the issues we've got with this view is we can't really see too clearly what's going on in this area here because from the side on view, the plates block the view. So it kind of puts us at somewhat of a disadvantage. Yeah. You want to film a deadlift ideally from a front 45-degree angle. That way we can kind of see through, we can see if you set your back. It puts us in a good position to sort of see what's going on. The next thing is, Adam, you probably saw it as well. I deliberately started the tape in a position because I noticed he's doing there's a lot of rolling of that. There's a lot of
Yeah,
moving the bar. I thought
I
you'd
I su-
go on.
I suspect, Byron, that he
Mm,
is crowding the bar. I suspect he is
mm,
crowding the bar with his shins. I'll bet you, almost bet you, the bar is behind the midfoot as he starts.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Interesting.
And here's the other thing: a good down makes for a good up.
Yep.
So I would for sure work on that setting the bar. I understand he's in a public gym and he probably has to be
Yeah.
very mindful of how the plates are recontacting the floor. But my friend, on the way down, your knees are just a little bit in the way. You
Mm-hmm,
see that, right?
mm-hmm,
Keeping the knees out of the way.
mm-hmm,
I would if I had him, I would reiterate our 5 step setup, right?
mm-hmm,
By the
yep.
numbers, and I would have him step one, show me shins an inch from the bar. I would have him step two, show me him getting a grip on the bar, not moving the bar. That's the
Mm-hmm,
caveat. And then I would really work on this part. I would teach him to squeeze up harder before the pull.
mm.
You see that he gets into
I
that
do.
position just really easily, and it's like I want him to imagine a rope, and that rope has slack in it. So when I look at your body, my friend, what I'm seeing is slack. What I would do with you is I would take that rope and pull that rope tight. And that, of course, metaphorically, I'm talking about your body, your system. I would pull it tight. So we would take up all that, as Byron would say, loosey goosey stuff there and tighten you up. And you're just going to see a really, really good deadlift.
I think so.
Now,
Yeah.
I see he's got some. It's also just warrants discussing. We train for strength generally, and I notice a lot of people that they'll have a pair of shoes that they squat in, a pair of shoes that they deadlift in, and you know, a pair of squat shoes work just fine. There's no reason to change in and out of shoes, and I hope what I say that to say this. I hope he's not squatting in those shoes too. I see that a lot of times in commercial gyms.
Hmm.
I don't know what logic people have to believing that a flat zero drop type shoe is somehow superior to just squatting in a shoe that's meant to do your squats in. Byron, thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Adam. I'd like to go back to the point you were making about taking the slack out. So in the setup steps here, Frederick, that's step number 4. And what we're looking for you to do here, and again, my gut feeling is this is kind of quite a lightweight for him. This may not even be a working weight set. I think he's just put in a form check set. I don't really see much of a struggle here, Frederick, if I be honest with you. But what we're talking about
It's
is,
too light,
go on.
too
It's
light to
too,
show
I
you
think
any
so.
glaring deficiencies. Yeah.
I think so, Fred. I think really, if you film again and you send us something, give us the proper working weight set. But in that step 4, you are one of these guys who has got the ability to contort into position without taking the slack out of the barbell. Like some people, normally women can do that. Some guys can, lots of guys can't do that. But you have got the ability to shuffle and squeeze into position without taking the slack out of the barbell. So to clarify, as you set your back into extension, in other words, as you flatten your back, you lift your chest up, that's when the bar should start to feel heavy in your hands. Okay. That's when that process will occur. That's when, if you're filming from the front again, you'll start to see the bar start to slightly flex. The heavier it gets, the more it's going to flex. That's what we're looking for there to get the system under tension before that thing comes up. All right. But yeah, it's there's again lots of good things here from this video. Adam, I think we've got time for one more. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We'll go to Clayton is next. We'll have a look at Clayton. All right, we've got a nice looking like a really solid setup here in this gym. So Clayton writes to us, this is my third set of 5. Load is 365. I feel like I'm not exaggerating my back to be more horizontal whenever I do the hip drive, and I'm wondering if I have to deload. This is what he's
Mhm.
asking. So,
No, I don't see anything I would deload there. There's a couple of so number one, this is the one I was talking about, Byron. That the video angle's tough, right? Because
yeah, this is not a
the
good
plate
video angle for us. Yeah,
the plates just obscure your hips and the bottom, so we really
yeah.
can't see that. Um, I suspect his stance is a shade on the wide side. If
Mm,
if I
good
if I
catch.
were if I were guessing, I think just
Mm,
looking at that bottom. So there's a couple of things I would like to really see him doing. I'd like to see him, I think, narrow that stance a little bit, and
hmm
then really work on. Do you see how he's thinking about shoving the knees out, but he's really not getting his thighs apart. Do you see that?
hmm
It,
What
and
I
he's
noticed,
raising.
Adam, go on,
Go ahead.
please, Karen.
No,
I
I
said
would.
what I,
Last thing, he's raising his chest too. If you'll watch him come up, you'll see it should be hips,
Mhm.
hips. There's chest raise. You see that?
Yeah, I
So
can see it. I can see you can see the head pulling up. That's usually a sign of something along those lines.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would love to see him just clean this up a little bit. And if you were in the gym and I'm coaching you, my friend, I would be saying, stay in your ass longer,
Mhm.
right? Longer. I want you to think about that. That inflection in my voice. Longer. See, you raise your chest. I don't want you don't have to raise your chest. The chest's going to come up just fine. You got to drive your ass longer, son. Go ahead, Byron.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, completely agree with that one. Clayton, next time you film, go for the rear 45-degree angle because that will completely remove this issue of the plates blocking the view, and then we can be very, very sure about the things we're discussing with you from that angle. So rear 45-degree filming. I think Adam's right. Your stance is a hair too wide for you because I can see your knees wanting to suddenly track inwards. I can see the tip of the knee having a tendency to do that. So that will facilitate you controlling that position of the knees a little bit more seamlessly. The main thing Adam's saying is stay in the hips. We got to keep you in the hips. You have that tendency to want to pull up your chest and your head a little bit soon. Sometimes what I'll do in these cases, Adam, if I feel the head is leading a little bit, is I'll put a very bright target on the ground for them to look at, and they have to with the head stay locked onto that target, and that helps keep the head orientated in the correct position, and it promotes the hip drive. So I might do that in this case. And the only other little thing that's slightly bothered me, the plates are spinning somewhat. And I would probably just have him re-tighten in between reps just to make sure that that bar, because sometimes if a bar's rolling around, if the person detects it, it sends a signal through the system and it makes them kind of sometimes bring the chest up a little too soon if they feel the bar's getting unstable. So I would probably want to eliminate that as a potential, causative factor, shall we say. So yeah,
Byron,
those points. Go on.
yeah, you're spot on. I think I think those adjustments will really clean that up nice. What's that sign say back there in the back on the top left behind him on the rack? What's that sign say? You see that?
I believe it says Olympia.
No, the one above that, Byron.
Oh, what is that? Something. I'm
What is
not
it?
sure. Is that Hawk something or other? Is that a beer in America or something? Maybe
So what is the bottom word? The first word is hawk. How would you pronounce that bottom word? T U
is that
A H.
in a British accent?
Would you say Tua? Tua?
What? Could that be
Now
a local
now
colloquial location, perhaps?
now put those two together. Put those two together. What does that say?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and so fix those squats, my man, and you're on the right track. You're going to be a big, strong. You're already a big, strong young man. You fix those few things that we've given you, and you're going to like where this goes. Okay.
Fantastic stuff. All right. Okay. That's a wrap for Strength Club today. Thank you so much for sending the videos in. You can send them in via the app, please. If you're finding us on YouTube or any of the social media channels, give us a little like there. And we hope this video has helped you. If you get stuck on anything and this is your video as featured today, you can leave us a comment in the notes and we'll have a look at those and try to reply to you. And you can also contact us directly. We're on things like Instagram and you can find our websites from there. Mine is Strength Revolution Coaching on Instagram. Adam, go ahead and give us yours.
Uh, yeah. I don't even know what my Instagram is, Byron. I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure yours is Adam Martin SSC, but you'll find you at Starting Strength Atlanta.
Starting Strength Atlanta, guys, follow us. But we have all kinds of content there. We'll talk about things like this. It's a pleasure to do your form checks. We enjoy it. And more than anything, Byron and I are both really, really dedicated to spreading this method not only across the country but across the world. So our world is a better world if our humans are stronger and more robust and more resilient and anti-fragile. Right, Byron?
Absolutely. That's great, guys. And I totally agree with it. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.